All right. I think my daughter found a car. Maybe she'll get to buy it tomorrow. So now I'm back home. I'm in the garage, my workspace. I've got the lower cabinet down from upstairs. So I'm gonna start cleaning this bottom out, so that way I can start taping things up and just getting it prepared for ultimately a little sanding, bondo, and painting in the area. So let me get after it, and I'll show progress as we go. You can see it, whenever it got knocked off, it bent some of these up. So I'm gonna bend them down and they'll fit back in here. Okay, that looks like about the right place. All right, there we go. I've done that portion already. Way better. Done this board too. Gonna get that side done, and then we'll wipe down the walls. All right, I got all that sanded from here to there. I just need to clean the wall still, of course. But this area I haven't done yet. So I'm tired, it's late. I'll do it tomorrow. So wrapping it up for tonight. I did clean this, look at this side art. Look at the side art, the reflection. I actually cleaned that off and with some spray way. Turned out really good. So, at any rate, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Good night. All right, I've got all the side here taped up. This paper I use here is a little thicker than just the regular kind of paper you can get. So it's just because I'm going to be laying it on its side a bunch of times. I want to make sure that it doesn't tear, and I really don't want to have to tape it over and over again. So this is hopefully a one-time taping. Now, let me show you what I've done over here. I've taped up this corner so I can fill it with this resin. I'm going to use this right here, in fact. That's what I'm going to use. Comes with a hardener. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to mix up a tiny bit in a cup, and I'm going to put it in there. And that's going to harden. It's going to build that corner, as you can see. Come down here, see, I've got this isolated. Now, something I want to note. Whenever I build this wall, let me get my finger and say, when you put this piece of tape around here, when you first place it, if you're not careful, what it tries to do is it tries to make this little corner circular, like really rounded, and we don't want that. So what I did was I had to take the tape and really put a crease in it before I placed it. Once I put this crease, then I could place it and it would build that corner out for me, because I don't want to have to do a bunch of extra work. I want to keep the sanding to a minimum. And if I can keep the sanding to a minimum, that'll less chance of me damaging any of the artwork under here or changing much of this, because I'm still not sure how much of that I'm going to paint or not paint or what I'm going to do with that yet. So this kind of helps me hedge my bets and not mess anything up or force my hand. Now the nail, if you're wondering what the nail is for, that nail goes into the wood because this corner, even though this wood is jagged in there and it has a lot of surface area, I don't like trusting a corner like this to the resin alone and the bonding alone. So this nail will go in there, and that nail head, which if you notice if I move it around here, is kind of going to be three-dimensionally buried inside the middle of this resin and right out close to the corner. And in doing so, it's going to make sure that this corner has some strength, so if it gets bumped, it won't just come falling off. It'll actually stay on a little better. So that's the idea. All right, I was looking to see how much to mix here because I'm not going to need much. And according to their little chart, and right now it's about 70 degrees, so it'd be 18 drops of hardener for every ounce of the resin. Well, I know I'm not going to use an ounce. It's not going to be close to that. So figure half of an ounce would be 9 drops, so that's half. So if, so I guess if I use like half of that would be about 4.5 drops for a quarter ounce. So we'll take that as a starting point. So I'm gonna take over here. I'm gonna pour some in here, just enough that I think I need, and we'll use this scale to measure to see how much I put, so I'll know how many drops to put. Well, this little eyedropper here I got from Amazon. I got a whole bunch of them for super cheap. I'm gonna use that to place it in there. So I've got it on ounces, so let's just see kind of how much. I kind of have an idea in my mind how much I need for that corner, so I'm gonna just didn't even register yet. Okay, that should be plenty, and it still didn't register for even 0.1 yet. So maybe 1 drop will do it, huh? Let's see. I hate to make extra, but I'll just make a little too much, I guess. See if that even gives me, nope, still nothing. Wow. So I guess this isn't going to be as scientific as I was hoping it was going to be. So if shoot, I guess I'm just going to have to put 1 drop and just go with it. So let's just, at least I measured to get an idea, to get an attempt. See if I can do that. Okay. Put 2 drops. I just don't know if I trust that. There we go. I'm not worried about it hardening too hard. So you see that it does actually, the cup was 0.1. So there you go. So I'm gonna measure this up, mix this up. Let's see, here we go. Moved over here where I had more light. Let me make sure I get this right. So kind of let it seep in a little bit before I just pour it all. One there. There we go. Just put a little more there. Kind of just use my finger to guide it. I should have put on gloves first, but didn't think about it. Okay. That's got it built out. I notice it's not leaking through my tape, which is good. Now this, I'm sure I've got it all the way down in there. I've let it seep down. So now I just need to let it harden. Even though I see right here in this little corner, just right about here. I'm a little shy. Like just a hair. Because again, I don't want to have to do a bunch of, I don't want it to be short because I don't want to have to do any Bondo. I want to be able to just sand it and go with it without putting Bondo over to fix anything. So I think that's it. I'm gonna go with that and let that harden. All right. Let's check it out with the flash on. Now you can see how that nail is gonna be basically sunk right in the center of that, but the nail's also nailed into the wood good, so it's not it's gonna be basically an anchor. And the head of that nail will act as even more of an anchor for it. So it's just gonna all around gonna be nice and strong and solid. I'm gonna let that harden. That's gonna need, I think it said 6 hours before you actually manipulate it. But I don't care, it'll be hardened in about 30 minutes. It'll be hard enough to where as I move it around, nothing's gonna happen. But you can see down here where it's sunk down, where it actually seeps down all the way to the very edge of where that break was. So this is gonna make a nice little repair for this corner. And I'm gonna take this and just kind of use this as my guide to how fast this stuff is setting. And I gotta watch it too. See, I've had it before. Look here, let me show you what it's doing. And I hope this doesn't do it here, but I have a sneaky suspicion it's trying. make sure my tape is, what's happening here is it shrinks up a little bit, I think, as it sets, but it also, sometimes it seeps deeper into the wood. Next thing you know, it's short. And the way that looks, it looks like my top might be a little short. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this extra on here like that, and see how I built that back up now, because it's starting to set. It's starting to at least get really thick. And that should make sure that I'm gonna be able to just sand that down. I don't wanna have to add to it after the fact. I want this to be it. All right, time to wrap this up for the night. Here's the other side. I went ahead and taped it all up. But I did something a bit different up here. I didn't realize that this leg had been missing a little bit of, like, there's actually a little layer of wood came with the decal. It looks like here and down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually mix up, not tonight, but I'm gonna mix up a little layer of Bondo and put just a tiny bit in to fill in just the wood area, just the part that's missing. And then I'm gonna get my paint out, my Cretex paint, and I'm gonna touch up paint and touch up that little bit. That'll be easy to do. And then I think I can use those regular metal leg protectors and not those big bulky things. So that'll be kind of nice. So anyway, so that's so I got that plane. There was also a little piece of wood right under there that was that had been hanging, and I got that glued back down with some wood glue. So there we are there. It's gonna come around. See, and of course the other side was already done, except for my stupid tape keeps not wanting to stick. Which I don't care about that, it's the second layer, but still it'd be nice if it would stay down. Let's look at this. I took the tape off of that, and now you can see. Back off a little bit, and then we'll come in close. There we go, look at that. See the nail head in there? Looks like Jello. And of course, come down here. And it's hard as a rock. I could probably sand it now. It's been about 2 hours since I did it, or so, maybe 2.5. And so it's hard enough to sand if I want to, but I'm not sanding it tonight because I'm wrapping tonight up. But let's see if I can put the light on it and see what it looks like. All right, now let's see. See with the light. There we go. Now you can see the head and the nail embedded in there. Let's see if we can come around this way and see it. You can't make it out as well there, but you can see, I mean, it's completely embedded, and when I sand this down, it'll still be, because here, let's kind of come this way, you can see, there's not much to sand. This top edge is hanging over, but down here it's pretty even. It won't take much, and this top here is where all the sanding is going to be if you come and look. I've got a way bunch of the top part to sand, but look down that line. Look, there's almost nothing to sand here. In fact, when I'm running my finger across here, it feels completely smooth. So this will be almost no sanding, just a light scuffing. Here will be just a tiny bit of light sanding, and then all the heavy sanding will be right here on top. And then I'll have a nice crisp corner, and that'll be ready to paint. Really just to prime and paint. With everything else will be a piece of cake. It's enough rambling for one night. Let's go ahead and wrap that up, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.